Hi, and welcome to The Caregiver's Daughter. I'm Danielle Charles, and this podcast is about what happens when caregiving becomes personal. This podcast started from a very personal place, a time when caregiving became more than just a job or a business for me. When someone very close to me needed care, I saw the challenges, the emotions, and the questions families face up close, and it opened my eyes to how much more I wanted to share, explain, and help. I want this to be a space where real stories and honest conversations about caregiving can make things clearer and a little easier for anyone going through it. Before I became a caregiver professionally, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 10 years. I worked a few jobs here and there to help make ends meet, but honestly, I hated working. I dreaded it. I would quit after a few months and just wish the time away. I wanted to spend every waking moment with my 3 beautiful daughters. Summer was especially hard when the weather was nice outside and I was stuck working. I had one job for a while selling products at night in Auburn, Maine, and honestly, I still get nightmares about that experience. I felt lost, no purpose, no goals. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom, divorce and bills caught up to me, and suddenly working wasn't an option. It was a necessity. That's when caregiving found me. It was like a voice saying, "Girl, I got you." I'd already been caregiving naturally with my daughters, and it just felt right. I started working at an assisted living home, and I remember my very first shift like it was yesterday. It was life-changing. I thought, I can do this. I spent months working every shift I could, soaking in everything I could learn. Then came my 6-month review. I was so proud walking into that meeting until my manager told me I'd met expectations, but hadn't exceeded them. When I asked how to exceed, she said, "Just do better." She said others had concerns about me and that I needed to be a better team player. I took that feedback pretty hard. I had worked so hard, picked up weekend shifts and loved the work. I had a great attitude as far as I could tell, and the residents loved me, but I realized then the problem had to be some people just didn't like the standard that I set. Around that time, I learned about Ahmed. It took all the courage I had to leap into the unknown of per diem shifts, but I did it, and I went from one facility to many. I learned faster than I ever thought possible. I became the go-to person, the hero who showed up when others wouldn't. The management loved booking my shifts, and then there was Barbie, the scheduler, who sent me the kindest emails telling me what an amazing job I was doing. It meant everything. Eventually, I was asked to stay at a facility that I was working at as the resident services director over the medication department. Ahmed supported me pursuing that opportunity, and I ended up getting remarried. My husband, he ended up getting hired as the manager of the home care division at Ahmed. That was pretty awesome. And after a year, he actually ended up asking me to join him in growing the company. Together with the incredible office and field staff, the home care side began to grow leaps and bounds. We hired more people, expanded services, and in January of this year, Nate and I became part owners. I was named the CEO and administrator, and Nate runs the home care division. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm excited for what's next. I've seen caregiving from the professional side for a long time. I've talked to adult children who are exhausted and overwhelmed. I've trained caregivers who give their all. I've seen what goes well and what falls through the cracks, but I've always just been a step outside of it until I wasn't. For the first time, I wasn't just the provider. I was the daughter. And my mom, who has always been strong and steady, showed every vulnerable side of herself. Not in this dramatic way, but in a very human way. She didn't hold back. Maybe because she's my mom, or maybe because she thought maybe she had more weight in the situation. I don't know. But I do know this. I didn't step in. I didn't override my team. I trusted the process and the professionals I've hired. And I gave my family the same treatment I give everyone else. This experience made me realize just how emotional home care is. Even when you know exactly how the system works, even when you have access, insight, and experience, it still hurts, still confuses, and still triggers. It also made me want to create a space where I can talk honestly about this process, not to defend it, not to sugarcoat it, just to tell the truth about what works, what doesn't, and what we need to understand better as providers and as family members. I'll use this space to talk about what families need to know before services start, what we can do as an agency, and what we can't. I'll talk about expectations, boundaries, grief, hope, burnout, and how to be a caregiver without losing yourself. Some episodes will just be me. Others might include guests and other daughters, other caregivers, other professionals who've been in the thick of it. But the heart of this podcast is real talk about care. Thanks for joining me today for this first episode. If you've ever found yourself stuck between doing your job and protecting someone you love, you are absolutely not alone. I hope this podcast helps you feel seen, and I hope it gives you language and perspective for whatever role you're playing right now. Until next time, take care of you.